This morning, 40 newsmakers, analysts, and reporters hit the Sunday morning talk show circuit. But only one gets to have the last word. That honor this Sunday goes to Republican Congressman Mike Pence of Indiana. Thank you, Congressman, for joining us on the State of the Union. You're a fiscal conservative from a conservative state where Barack Obama actually did pretty well this time. Surprised a lot of people out in Indiana. I want to ask you about this stimulus bill making its way through the House right now.
Right.
The Congressional Budget Office says it's about $850 billion total. The CBO says only about $136 billion designated for infrastructure will actually be spent quickly, that a lot of the spending is down the road. Number one, can you support this package as it is? And number two, do you think, even if you can't support it, is there enough in there to actually create jobs in the short term?
Well, I think that's the right focus, John. This is intended to be temporary and have an immediate impact to create jobs in America. And I think what the American people are starting to see is that the Democrat plan is to engage in the kind of slow and wasteful and predictable big government spending that simply is not going to put America back to work. Republicans came forward this week, had a chance on Friday to talk to the president about it. Our leaders did, that would lay out a series of fast-acting tax relief measures that would bring growth and opportunity to working families, small businesses, family farms. We think that's what we ought to be doing. And I think there is great concern now that as this bill is scheduled to move to the floor on Wednesday, that we don't have the kind of legislation that's really going to create jobs in America.
Well, let me stop you on that point for a second, because you say, you met the president personally. He sought you out Tuesday on Inauguration Day at the lunch at the Capitol. He came around the back to find you and say hello. Well, there was a meeting at Friday at the White House, and he's coming to speak to your House Republican conference on Tuesday.
That's right.
And then on Wednesday, this bill will go to the floor. As of now, is it fair to say that House Republicans feel they've had pretty much zero input?
Well, I think, look, I take the president at his word. I think I did have a chance to chat with him. My wife and I did on Tuesday, immediately after his inauguration. And he, in that moment, without betraying a private conversation, he expressed his desire to have a dialogue and to hear Republican ideas. But the difference between what I think is the sincere intention of President Obama and what Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are doing on Capitol Hill, which is moving forward through committees last week, what is, as the Washington Post said this morning, a lot of very predictable big government spending that may have some merit down the road, but it's not stimulus
and yet,
for the most part.
Let me stop you for 1 second, because and yet Nancy Pelosi says she's more than open to Republican ideas. Let's listen to what the Speaker said this morning.
It will take some. We will judge them by their ability to create jobs, to help turn the economy around, to stabilize the economy, and to see how much they cost. But we're open to them, and we'll review them, and it all has to be done right away because our bill has to come to the floor this week.
We're open to them. We'll review them. Is the Speaker being disingenuous there? Has she been open to them so far?
Well, look, I have a lot of respect for the Speaker of the House, but I think she also said this morning on another network that about Republican ideas, says it doesn't mean they didn't have an opportunity to vote on a stimulus bill. Well, bipartisanship should mean more than having the opportunity to vote on Democrat bills. I mean, the process I think the American people want to see us accomplish here is one where we're taking the best ideas from the party that won the majority, from the administration, and from the minority that represents, some 100 million Americans. We're bringing them together. That's not what's happening here, but I don't want to get lost in process. The American people know we cannot borrow and spend and bail our way back to a growing economy. The choice that they're faced with here is a Republican proposal that would provide fast-acting tax relief for working families and small businesses versus the slow and wasteful big government spending bill that will not put America back to work.
Quickly on another subject, we have about less than a minute, but Obama plans fast action to tighten financial rules. This is to go after the markets, where the collapse of Wall Street. Is regulation the answer?
Some regulation will be the answer. There's some financial instruments that were not regulated as securities that certainly are now and should be further. But at the end of the day, Republicans, again, opposed the balance of sending the next $350 in a banking bailout because what we really need to do here, in a very real sense, is pursue policies that will get this economy growing again. We simply cannot continue to borrow billions of dollars from our children and grandchildren and bail out every failing business and every failing bank in America.
But you don't have the votes to stop them.
We don't have the votes to stop it now, but, you know, John, I always tell my colleagues, a minority in Congress plus the American people equals a majority. So we're going to take our case for tax relief versus slow and wasteful government spending to the American people this week. We'll take it to the president when he comes by our conference Tuesday, and we'll see where it goes from here.
We need to leave it there for now, but we appreciate you joining us for the last word, Congressman Mike Pence. Thank you. And remember, if you missed any of State of the Union, you can catch it tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Please stay with us.